All right, here we are. It's Friday. Happy Friday. And today we're going to have fun. We're going to break down 21 skills that will always earn you money. All right, in your lifetime, in your career, and everything that we talk about around here. I'm just going to get my hand lotion on while we wait for everyone to join us, or a few of you anyway, to join us. All right. Then I posted the meme in the group with the list of the 21 skills that will pay you forever. So we're going to kind of break that down a little bit. I thought that was a great list of life skills that I think everyone should focus on. Okay, so we're going to break them down one by one, or as many as we can get through, and kind of break them out, and talk about them, and unpack them, and drill, see what we can learn from each one of them. How about that? All right. Number one, the ability to sell and negotiate. Now that's obvious, isn't it? We all know those particular personality types that just seem to be so outgoing, and they just seem to be able to have it all together, and they can negotiate and sell just about anything. They can sell ice cubes uh, to Eskimos, right? That's definitely a life skill. Now, we're not born with those skills. Understand that we are not born with those skills, but there are a lot of great books out there that can help you develop those type of skills, negotiation skills. It's an art. It's not rocket science. There's a specific art and method to negotiating and developing a win-win situation for all parties involved. And of course, if you can have that, you're going to make some money, of course. All right, now the next one, number two, the ability to convey what you think and feel. How does that relate to making money? You know, if you have the ability to think and feel and convey the way you feel and think to your superiors, to your bosses, to your customers, do you not think that that's going to develop a more know, like, and trust relationship? How do you how does one develop that? How does one develop that ability to convey how they think or feel? You know, again, we might be carrying around a lot of baggage from our youth. So that's some stuff we've got to get over. Again, good books are there to help you, aren't they? Okay. Number three, the ability to break a process down into smaller steps. Now, I absolutely support that one and can attest to that one. Uh, Systems are going to make or break your business. All right, your ability to break down a process and create a step by step system for your business is imperative. And I have a great book for that. Right, if you haven't ever read James Clear is the author, and Atomic Habits is the name of the book. Excellent book, absolutely a must read, and it is absolutely a skill that you need to hone in on. All right. Number four is the ability to shut up, listen, and learn from others. That's sometimes really hard, isn't it? But I think that will tie into your negotiation skills also. You'll learn a few techniques as you start to develop these skills, as far as when you're negotiating, you're going to make the next statement, and then you're going to need to shut up. You need to shut up at some point in your negotiation, because the next person who speaks loses. Okay. Now that's a common negotiation tactic, and one that you should learn. Okay. And you're going to learn that by finding the right books. Okay. So that's obviously something that you want to hone in on. All right. Now, the other one is going to be the ability to adopt, improvise, and overcome obstacles. Yep. Yeah. That's very important if you're going to be an entrepreneur, isn't it? Especially if you're going to be a leader of people and agents and a sales force. You need to be able to adapt, improvise, and overcome those obstacles, because when you're an entrepreneur, you have so much crap coming at you from all directions. All right. You really do. And some, especially if you're going to be a broker or a broker owner, you've got everything coming at you at once. Sometimes it feels like that. And you need to have that ability to, you know, slow that roll and think through that process. That's definitely a skill that you're going to learn as you begin to grow your businesses. Okay. All right. Number 6, the ability to read, understand, and memorize. I don't know a single highly successful person ever. Do you know a single highly successful person, or who you consider to be a highly successful person, who does not read, right? Reading, the first 5 of these have all been answered by a good book, hasn't it? Right? Your ability to be able to read, understand, and memorize processes, techniques, information, knowing your customers' information. When you see a customer that you haven't seen for a long time, do you memorize their name? Do you understand? Do you recognize their face? Do you know the names of their children? Do you ask how their aunt and their uncle are doing? These are really important skills that definitely will help you in this business to earn money, because this is a people business, isn't it? Okay. All right. Number 7, this is interesting. The ability to walk away. The ability to walk away. We all have experienced situations in this business where you just need to walk away. Sometimes it's just more profitable to walk away, isn't it? And you need to learn how to gracefully do that. You need to learn how to gracefully turn people down. You need to learn how to gracefully tell people that that is beyond my boundaries. Okay. If you've ever been faced with a situation that you're not comfortable with, you need to be able to really voice your opinion, right? Again, and voice how you feel, right? And convey how you feel. Okay. These are great. I love them. What do you think? Huh? What do you think about these so far? Did you get a chance to look at that meme in the group? We're going right down the list. Number 8, the ability to manage time effectively. Absolutely, you need to learn to manage your time effectively, because if you don't plan your time is just going to get away from you. All right. So if you don't plan your day, you're going to end up sitting on the couch watching television all day, or walking your dogs 5 times a day because you don't have a plan for your day. All right. That's absolutely the biggest thing that you can probably put your hands around that is going to pay you in your career, is to plan your time effectively. Okay. Let's see. Whoops, I lost my meme here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Manage your time. Number 9, ability to stay positive and optimistic. Well, we all know that, right? We all know that. And again, positive mental attitude books. If you need to feed your brain to stay positive, that's what you're going to want to do. I have found some excellent books that have helped me really change my mindset. And I'll tell you, I like the Secret, right? And there's a secret about money. And it's you can laugh all you want about asking the universe for what you want, but if you don't put those energies out in the world, you're never going to get what you want. Okay. So absolutely stay positive and optimistic, because it's there for you. It's already there for you. You just have to focus on it. Okay. The number 10, the ability to make decisions based on facts and not emotions. That's definitely something that we all need to hone in on and learn how to control. Making emotional decisions is always going to be a little bit of a hair-brainer, isn't it? Number 11, the ability to speak in front of a large audience. Now, if you're an introvert like me, that's probably something that you are just immediately crossing off the list, isn't it? That you have already decided that you are not going to ever speak in front of a large audience. Well, I can promise you, again, there are great books out there. I happen to be a Dale Carnegie graduate. I took that course in the 80s. The corporation that I worked for at the time sent the management, through that Dale Carnegie course. So, you need to absolutely, I can promise you, you need to be able to stand up, if not in front of a large audience, at least a small audience, because it doesn't matter if it's an audience of one, or an audience of 50,000. You need to be able to stand confidently and convey your thoughts, right? And convey your thoughts and desires, okay? The ability to keep trying even after failure. Let me tell you, that's hard, isn't it? That is hard. And I have gone through that recently. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've had my real estate brokerage for 23 years, but I've only been coaching for 5 years. And in them 5 years, let me tell you what, I was reminded how difficult it is to start a business. I'm in coaching 5 years now, and I'm just now starting to feel the momentum. Okay. But let me tell you, there were moments in the beginning of my business. And if I thought real hard, I could think about all of the moments 23 years ago that made me feel like I wanted to quit. And had I done that, I wouldn't be 23 years ahead in the trenches today. Okay. There are always going to be moments that you're going to want to quit this business. Sometimes you may have to step back and regroup. Like if we're going into a different market position, like we have looming us in the face, it would be an easy decision to quit today, wouldn't it? Especially if you've had a really tough year. It would be easy, and you're probably contemplating quitting. Maybe you should quit. I don't know. You're the only one that has to decide what you want, okay? And if you've had a really bad year, that means whatever you're doing isn't working, okay? You've got to change that. You've got to do something different. If this year wasn't the best, you've got to be willing to do something that you have never done before, okay? And that is the truth of the matter. All right, let's move on. The ability to invest money on your own, okay? That's a good one. That really is a good one. You need to be able to put some money aside. And I'll tell you, honestly, that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I think I've made all my life. Honestly, if you would just put $25 a week, into the savings and don't touch it from your 20s to your 60s, you'll be a millionaire. But let me tell you, life just has a way of swinging at you sometimes. And sometimes you have to tap into that savings. But always regroup on that and regroup on your investing, because even if you get smacked on the nose, you need to invest. You need to look at those investments. And as realtors, you are faced with great opportunities every single year. Every single year, you have at least one great opportunity that could be a good investment for yourself. You just didn't swing on it. You just didn't pull the trigger on it. You just didn't know how. You just didn't have the resources, right? Decide to do something about that and decide that you're going to make some investments moving forward. All right. You're going to figure it out. All right. Everybody has to figure it out and dip their toes in. Everybody starts on the same information level. All right. That's all it is information, isn't it? Get the right information and then move forward. Okay. Make some investments in your career. You're a realtor. You're going to have opportunities. Okay. The ability to do things irrespective of the situation. All right. Irrespective of the situation. Sometimes it's not going to be easy to make decisions if you're an entrepreneur. I'm sorry, this just looks a little blurry to me. Sometimes it's not going to be easy to make decisions in your business. And I suggest you find counsel. I always suggest that you find counsel. All right. If you don't have an individual that is in the business, maybe they can be a friend, they can be a broker, a trusted broker, another colleague, but find someone that understands your business and what you're going through. Okay. That you can unpack things. Hire a coach, plug into a mentor. Everyone should have a coach. When you hire a coach, ask who their coach is. Because if they're not being coached, that's my theory anyway. I always like to know who my coaches are being coached by. Okay. So ask, who do they follow? Who do they plug into? Everybody needs to plug into somebody. You can't just be out there in the cold. You just can't. Successful people are never out in the cold. They know that this is a team effort to build this type of a business. They know that they're going to plug in to people who have walked the path before them. They know that they're going to invest in themselves and their knowledge. Okay. So maybe start thinking like that a little bit. All right. In this next year. All right. The ability to self-analyze. That's kind of what we're talking about here, isn't it? Self-analyzing, right? You really need to look yourself in the mirror and decide what you're doing. All right. You need to decide what you're doing. Now, there are different stages in our lives for everyone, and everyone is in a different level and a different stage. If you're in your 30s and 40s, you have all of the energy in the world. You are in your building stage of your career. When you get maybe into your 50s or 60s, you don't want to do all that anymore. You just want to make your lousy 6 figures and go fishing. All right. So you have to understand that you have to analyze yourself, your abilities, and take a good look in the mirror and decide what you want. Because if you don't analyze what you got going on inside there and what direction you want to take, you're just going to flounder. Okay. You really are. The ability to learn how to learn. That's great. That is a great one. Number 16, the ability to learn how to learn. That's not easy to do sometimes, especially in this digital age. I can't tell you how many courses or programs that I have pulled the trigger on and purchased. And some of them I haven't even opened up and looked at. I just like the marketing of the hype. I got sucked into the hype, the shiny object, and I bought the course and I never looked at it. Have you ever done that? Raise your hand if you've ever done that, right? There are some courses, though, that I have had to develop to learn digitally because I'm old, I don't have all of the attention span really sometimes to sit through some of these video courses and stop it and go back and implement and watch more and write notes. And it's a process. Okay. It's a process. You have to learn how you learn, right? Like I said, I have a difficult time with these digital courses. And if you do too, that's why I developed my own coaching program. And that's why I offer affordable, because I truly believe that if you want to get something implemented, you need some one-on-one help. You need somebody to set that up for you, set it up with you, not for you, with you. So you understand what you've got there on your platforms and your systems and your tools, and that you've got some help and you can ask the right questions. See, in a digital course, you can't really interact, can you? you know? So that makes it difficult. So find a way that you like to learn. I like to listen to audiobooks. Some people like to read hardback books. Some people like softback books. Some people like podcasts. You have to learn how you like to learn. Okay. All right. But there's enough information out there and process for you to figure out what's comfortable for you and get into a mode of learning. All right. Number 17, the ability to understand what others feel. That's a good one. I think that's a good one. I think if you can understand how someone feels, that is going to help you, obviously, in your negotiation skills. Okay. Because if you can put someone else first and bring to the surface their feelings and their objections, isn't that going to make the negotiations go smoother? Right. So your ability to understand how other people feel and be attuned to that is definitely going to be a skill that's going to help you earn money, okay, in your career. All right. Let's see. Number 18, the ability to remain consistent. Ta-da! Right? I think that should be number one. I think that should be number one. The ability to remain consistent. Okay. Now, I can't tell you how many times I have watched other agents and I have followed them and I have watched them get all excited about their YouTube channels or their TikTok channels, and they're out there just pumping out that video content. And after about 4 or 5 or 6 months, I don't see them anymore. I don't see them anymore because they couldn't stay consistent with it enough. If you can't stay consistent with something more than 6 months, you're just beginning to make an impact on whatever you're doing. And if you quit after 6 months, you know, do you think that Karen Carr quit after 6 months developing a YouTube channel? No, I guarantee you, right? You know, everything that you look at that is a success, I guarantee you they had some level of consistency, and that's how they got there. Okay. Consistency is going to be my word this year. Absolutely. I think that's a good word. Find something to be consistent with, you know. If you start a marketing project and it becomes just a whole big conglomeration and it's difficult and it's a production, you can't stay consistent with something like that. It's great to do it for a little while. It's great to put it out there and make a blast, you know, but if you can't stay consistent with it, it's not gonna be worth it. You've wasted all that money on the investment that you put forth to that point. Okay. So before you take on huge marketing projects, make sure that the budget for it is sustainable. Okay. And realistic and makes sense. All right. Okay. That's an important one. All right, here we go. Number 19, we're almost done. We're going to bring this home now. Number 19, your ability to master your own thoughts. Wow, that is important. It really is important because I don't know about you, but I could let my thoughts run away like a freight train if I wanted to. I mean, they could just go off on all kinds of tangents if I let them, right? You know what I mean? Your ability to control your thoughts is definitely going to determine your success and your ability to make money in any world, you know, honestly. Because if you can't control and master your own thoughts, then you're not planning, you're not focused. Nothing else falls into place if you're not mastering your own thoughts. And, you know, that can be as easy as telling yourself something positive. Honestly, when I noticed, I used to be, back in the 80s, I was involved in network marketing for about 4 years with an upline. I had a network marketing business. I loved it. It was great. We connected with a lot of other business people and I learned a lot. And one convention that I went to, I I will always remember the speaker, and she was a great woman, and she was so full of energy. She was a great speaker. The one thing she taught us that at that convention, she had this phrase that was, on a banner across the auditorium, and it said, "I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. Oh," that was the banner that was above the stage in the back there. And that was the technique that she taught at that convention. I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, if you repeat that to yourself, she had us repeat that 10 times, multiple times during the day and during that convention. And let me tell you, you come out of there feeling good, because if you tell yourself to feel good, you're going to feel good. Okay. All right. So anytime I notice that my mind is on a runaway train and thoughts are just going bing, bang, boom, 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 and they're all negative thoughts and all this negative stuff is going to happen, I just stop and I say, I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. And I will say that over and over and over and over and over until I have lost my attention for the negative thoughts that are running through my mind. So keep that in mind the next time you're on a runaway train with your mind. Okay? I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, I bet you can't say it 20 times without forgetting about your woes for the moment. Okay? All right. All right. So the next one is your ability to write words to persuade and influence others. Obviously, that's definitely a skill that we need to have in our business, isn't it? Well, today we've got some help with Chat GPT, and I use a service called Copy AI. Same thing, right? There's lots of AI writing tools today. Okay. So be careful when you're writing those or using those tools. And if you ever have the opportunity to write your brand voice in one of those platforms, I think that would be helpful. I haven't even ventured there myself yet. But I use it more so I pretty much write it and then I'll put it in there and tell them to rewrite it better, so I like it and I edit it a lot. I think it'll be quicker for me if I'll develop my brand voice, and I'll get around to it eventually. But your ability to write persuasively is definitely important, because obviously we have to persuade our customers every day, don't we? Sales is a persuasion business. People toy with the idea of buying a house, or they'll toy with the idea of selling and buying something else. But unless we persuade them, sometimes with our marketing or our advertising, they won't move. They won't pull the trigger. They won't move forward unless they are moved to. All right. So your words and your marketing and your descriptions, they have to move people. They have to move emotions, right? When you're describing or selling or marketing a piece of property, you want to focus on the features of the home, don't you? And you want to describe how those features are going to be enjoyed, not just, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, fenced in yard with a spa, right? You need to describe those features in a moving way that draws attention and brings people to pull the trigger, right? Pull the trigger on picking up the phone, making that inquiry, finding out about that property, talking to somebody about selling their home for the first time. People who are first-time home buyers have never sold a home before. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to transition from one home to another. That you have to get over that obstacle with them, and they have to feel comfortable with that before they're going to move forward. So these are some of the words that you have to be persuasive with, isn't it? All right. Number 21, the ability to ask for help. Now, I don't know. Some men might have a problem with that, right? I don't know that women have too much of a problem asking for help, or at least, that's the stereotype anyway. Asking for help. Yes, absolutely. You have to learn how to ask for help and just cut to the chase. You know, it isn't worth it to sit there and spin wheels and spin wheels and spin wheels and go down a rabbit hole doing the wrong thing. Just ask for help, you know, and you will get there faster. Okay. All right. So that's all 21 of them. I thought that was pretty good. 21 skills that will pay you forever. And you noticed a lot of those skills obviously can be learned and developed right from very good books. Okay. So jump in and let me know what kind of a good book you've had a good experience with in the comments. One of your favorites, because I'm looking for a new book. It's a new month. I do audiobook. I don't know about you. I know my Kelly likes to read. She likes to have a hardback book in her hand. But I like audiobooks because I can consume information faster. Okay. And I can listen to it over and over and over again. And I feel like I'm just being programmed. So that's helpful. And when I'm, got 10 hours on road trip up to the cabin, it's always good to have a good book. All right. Have a great weekend, y'all. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.